Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talent Pool. It is going to run without a hitch today, unlike yesterday, because Chris, my amazing live stream producer, is behind the scenes and actually making things work. So welcome to Not My Hot Mess today. We are here today to learn more about somebody in our network who is looking for their next dream job and kind of get a glimpse behind the resume. See if we can help introduce our network to other people. If you're here, please comment, chime in, say hi, give support. And if you know somebody who would be a good fit to meet with Tammi, who is our guest, then let us know. So with that, Tammi Chen, come on out. We're so excited to meet you today. Hello. From cold Boston area, huh?
Yeah, it's actually 50 degrees today, so it's a little warmer.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I won't tell you how warm it is in Richmond because you'll hate me. But I do have a friend who lives up there. I lived up there for years, who sent me a note yesterday and said it's 60 degrees today. And I was like, oh yeah, it's 80 here. Sorry. But
Very jealous.
are you like a Massachusetts? I always call them massholes, but I don't want to call you a masshole. So are you
I don't drive here. I bike and take the T, so
then you're exempt.
Yeah, I'm exempt from it. But yeah, I live in the Cambridge Somerville area.
Yeah, I love that area. It's such good food. So,
yeah.
Well, we're so glad to have you with us. I know that it's kind of a bittersweet moment to be on this live because if you're looking for your next dream job, it means that you have to say kind of goodbye to something that maybe was really special to you. And for you, this is like an especially poignant goodbye, right? Because where you are, well, tell us a little bit because you came out of college and you went to this.
Yeah, so graduated into the pandemic. I was trying to figure out what to do next, and I was I could go into grad school or work at I had a few job offers in engineering, but I wasn't super excited about that. So I was actually at the Da Vinci Center at VCU, and that got me introed into design thinking and entrepreneurship, and I got really excited about that, and I wanted to learn more about it. So came up here to Boston for grad school, and through my program that led me to a co-op at the current company I'm working at, and that led into a full-time position. And I've been there for almost 2 years now, and now I'm back out in the world looking for my next adventure.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So hang on, did we actually get connected through somebody at Da Vinci Center? Is that how you found me?
Yeah, I saw Allison's post and I was like, yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that. Allison's one of my favorite humans. And for those of you who
she's
don't know,
great.
I'm not spilling the beans on this because she's already announced it, but they're getting a new puppy this weekend. And it is the cutest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. Oh my God, it's a Jack Russell Terrier Corgi mix.
Yeah.
And his name is Oi. So you'll be seeing
that's a cool name.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to ask her, is it like Oi exclamation point or just like Oi? Because I feel like it needs an exclamation point.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, that's super cool. I was just there yesterday doing a seminar on how to get a job. And so very timely. So now, what did you go to grad school for?
For experience design.
Okay. All right. What led you to that? Because that's not kind of where you started, right?
Yeah, so my background's in mechanical engineering, and I think a lot of it attributes to the Da Vinci Center. I was like, this, I want to do more design, and I wanted to be able to collaborate with people. I mean, the program itself like really gets you introduced to like a lot of different people from different major because otherwise I would have been in my own little bubble of like my engineering friends, which they're great, but like you want to be able to learn how to work with different people. And like actually one of my best friends was like a study interior design at VCU, and like we're still friends till the very day to this very day. But like I wouldn't have met her unless I was in the program. So I think it
Yeah.
just opened my eyes to how to collaborate with people and like work from different perspectives. And I was like, this is something I want to do. And that kind of led me into like design, and like I really like prototyping, ideating in those classes. And I was like, can I do that for a living? And I, you know, just wanted to learn more about it. And I think uh, going to school during the pandemic made sense in a way where you're like, you could work where you could go, you could learn, and also met some really cool people there with different backgrounds.
Yeah. It's an interesting group of people. Tanya says she's in awe of engineering, such smart brains. Just so you know, Tanya is like one of the brainiaciest people I've ever met too. So
Yeah.
that is a lot coming from her. But I agree. I mean, the way that engineers and designers look at the world is always really interesting to me because I can teach a lot of those things, but doing it is very different. For like I can help guide people, but the doing of it to me feels like magic sometimes.
Mhm.
Um so you got out of grad school, you ended up the company that you're currently with, but you're
Yeah.
starting to transition out. What
Mhm.
happened? Like what's going on there that you have to move?
Yeah, so I think we're the company I'm working at right now is called Depth ID. We are an API first company. Um, I think when I joined, I was the fourth person hired, so I've been there for a hot minute. And as an API first company, like I was a product designer on the team, which sort of made sense, but as we grew, it made less sense. So I transitioned into a product manager. But as the company is growing, I like uh, I don't think I was like no longer a fit
Mhm.
in the space. So I think I need like some to find somewhere that has a little more support, but also like be able to grow my career. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, which is a natural progression, right? Like
Hmm.
it just absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
Tanya, you're hilarious. So but one of the things that we talked about before we came on is that like you've had all of these experiences, you've kind of like used your education and your career experience to grow. And when I ask you what you want to be when you grow up, you're like, I don't
I
know.
don't know. Yeah, I think that was a very long conversation I had with like my manager, my boss. They kept asking me like, "What do you want to do in 5 years?" And I was like, "I don't know," because they always also wanted to help in some way of like finding what I'm good at. And I was just like, I can't tell you because like the past 3 years I've like changed directions 3 times, so I can't imagine what I'm gonna do in the next 3 years or even 5 years.
Right.
So like I think there is some luxury in that you don't know what you're doing, because if I knew I want to be an engineer right out of school, I probably would still be one, and I probably wouldn't be that happy doing it. And I think I'm much happier in this space of like startups and in tech. So I don't want to put like define boundaries about of like what my dream job is, but I think there is like things that I like doing, I'm good at, that I want to continue to pursue and grow those skills.
Right. Like design, right? Like that's something
Yeah.
that you feel like you kind of want to go maybe back to those roots
Hmm.
a little bit.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely.
So I have a soft spot for startups. That's kind of my world. I spend a lot of time in it and mentoring. And I know what I love about working in the startup world. So like the gumption and grit that it takes to be successful and the fact that you kind of have to wear so many hats and everything
Hmm.
next. But I would love to just like hear from you. What is it that draws you to the startup world?
I think the huge part is being able to wear different hats and get to learn like a lot of skills really quickly. So when I first started, we were like launching our product on Product Hunt, and we were like, all right, we got to redo our website. So I redesigned our website in like 6 hours. Like made it on like Squarespace. It was very janky, but like it was better than our previous one.
Right.
We wanted like animation on our website, and I tried to hire a animator actually from VCU, but we're like, oh man, like she's too expensive. We can't do that. So like I spent a whole week just learning how to use, I think some kind of Adobe animating tool, and just made animations for us. And yeah, at one point I was also making videos for us for um, just like showing how to how to use a product. And at one point, I even became like a low code app developer because we didn't have a front end developer. So I was designing apps for customers, like from like wireframe to Figma. And we're like, all right, how do we build this? Because we don't have an engineer to do this. So like I built all of that on Bubble.
Oh
So
my
a lot of those skills were just like picked up on the job, and like those are some skills I still value quite a bit, and I don't think I would have utilized those. Or actually not utilize those, but like learn those in school because there isn't the same pressure. Because
right.
you're yeah, a lot of it is theoretical. I've
I
learned.
was about to say, so much of it is theory. Even at DaVinci, like we do a really good job, I think, of doing as much hands-on as we
Hmm.
possibly can, but it's still theoretical until you have investors breathing down your neck, right? Or
Yeah.
like founders going, we have to have this now, or else like everyone's livelihood is at stake,
Hmm.
whatever it is, right? And
Yeah.
so stakes are really high when you're in the startup world. But
Hmm.
you're right, you get to experience some really neat things that you probably wouldn't if you were in a more traditional organization
Yeah.
or at school. But it sounds like you're a very, like, hands-on person, like, I can kind of figure everything out, everything's
Hmm.
figure outable, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I know that you've talked about prototyping and designing. Is that, like, the prototype side of things, is that something that really kind of turns your crank?
Yeah, definitely. I think being able to like create something really quickly and testing it and failing fast is like you just learn so much from that process. And I would love to do something like, in my next career, or like my next job that is related to that. I think just like I like something fast paced, so that kind of keeps me going. Or like having like different projects, always keeping me interested, and different problems to solve.
Yeah. That's so much fun. I love that. I know we didn't do Lego. We talked about, like, doing Lego,
Yeah.
but I can imagine that I would probably lose a Lego competition, building competition to you before I even put 2 blocks together. Um,
Yeah.
something fun that we're doing at Da Vinci Center right now is we're all becoming Lego, like, Serious Play certified
Hmm.
and doing that, and so I'm kind of having to turn on that engineer brain
Hmm.
that is non-existent.
I think everyone has like I think Lego has made it very accessible to build things like that and
Yeah.
to be creative like that. I'm like very jealous that Da Vinci's doing all this stuff because like when I was there, that was not a thing, and so I'm on their alumni board, and I'm just like they're talking about like all the cool things they're doing. I'm just like, wow, I can I go back to school just for like 2 years just to go to the program again because I just like had a lot of fun. And like,
Yeah.
man, these students are having even more fun than I did. And I actually even lived in the building too. I was in the Living Learning program. So I lived
Oh,
on the fifth floor. I like would go downstairs all the time and just hang out in the conference room and like study with my friends in there. So I spent a lot of time in that building.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Wait till you see, like, what's happening over the next couple of years. You're gonna give up Boston and come back to Richmond.
Oh. If Richmond becomes a more walkable city, I'm sold.
No, it's so hard. I'm a biker as well, and,
Hmm.
not probably like you, but it's really frustrating that you spend all of your time on the road here thinking you're gonna die, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna ask you something. Oh, okay. So I wanna know, like, as a kid, were you also a tinkerer and a builder and a, like, hands-on?
Yeah. Yeah. So actually in preschool, I loved playing with Legos. But we not everyone could play with Legos. Like they would ask, like, all right, who wants to play with Legos? And like I'll raise my hand and I'll always choose the guys. And I end up playing house and I was like really frustrated. And I was just like, I just want to play with Legos and this is like so much fun. And the guys would always fight over the 2x3 pieces. That's my favorite piece, the most like classic.
Okay.
Just do a lot of stuff with that. But always been a tinkerer, and I think uh, my mom was like on a trip, like a work trip away, and I asked her, "Can you give me some Legos when you get back?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, definitely." But she came up with a Connect set, and I was like really disappointed. But
Yeah.
then like I started using the Connect set like in undergrad and building projects with it, and I also used it in my internship. And I was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of cool. Not
Yeah.
Lego, but still very cool." So
Yeah.
um,
That's one year I asked my mom to get my oldest daughter, um, shoot, what are they called, y'all? They're the ones, they're like the round wheels and you put the long like sticks in them.
oh, I know what it looks like, but I don't remember the name of it either.
Yeah, like I can't think of them. And then the other thing that I wanted her to get were the ones that look like wooden, like wood logs. Tinker Toys. That's it. Tinker
Lincoln
Toys.
Logs.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys. So I told my mom, like my daughter was like 5, and I was like, this is what I want for Christmas. And so my mom is hilarious because she bought some and like probably in the summer or something and hid them away. And then as the holiday got closer, she was like, "Oh, I need to get those." And so she ordered some and then she was like Christmas shopping and then she was like, "Oh, I need to get these." And so she got them. So for Christmas that year, she brings out this bag. I kid you not, this bag is like 4 feet tall, the biggest gift bag I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's just filled with like 8 sets of Tinker Toys and Lincoln
Oh
Logs.
wow.
So I just keep forgetting that she ordered them. And it took us like we just spent years just playing with those
Mhm.
and eventually, they all kind of like got lost and mismatched.
Yeah.
But it was a fun thing to do. So all right. Well, so you're not sure where you're going. You're not sure exactly what you want to do, but you do know that you kind of lean towards the startup culture. You'd really like
Mhm.
to be hands-on, more kind of like prototype design,
Yeah.
get shit done type of
Mhm.
person. Um, and are you like, is Somerville your kind of forever home for a while, or would you be willing to move?
Um, I I I wouldn't call it my forever home, but I do like really enjoy living here right now. Like my window's like right here and I can see into a park. There's like a community garden. It's just like a wonderful space and I just moved back. So I've been living here for 2 years now and but 9 months of last year I was a digital nomad and I recently moved back in September. So I'm like, okay, I'm not ready to give up the space yet because
Yeah.
I just really enjoy living here. Like all my friends are right around the corner from me, so it's a I lucked out with the spot. I think
Yeah.
so.
That's amazing. Where did you go
Mhm.
on your travels?
I went to Atlanta, Detroit, Denver. I did Boston quite a bit because my work is based out of here, and then I'll visit home in some from Virginia as well for a little bit, and then I spent like a month in like rural Maine. That's probably my favorite part of the trip was like going to rural Maine. I was like maybe like an hour south of Acadia,
Yeah,
and yeah, so I did just like travel all around, crashed at my friends' couches. So
that's awesome. I love that. I am probably less of a digital nomad than you, but I also have 3 older kids and we all kind of live
mhm.
together. But I try to take 2 or 3 weeks at a time and then fuck off somewhere to go surf. So I
Yeah.
old places, but like
Mhm.
Spain, Portugal, and Costa Rica last year were
Oh,
mine.
that sounds nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. But it's so much fun to be able to take your computer and just go
Mhm.
do your work, right? Like,
Yeah.
so much fun. Very cool. Well, we're nearing the end of our time. So, um, if you all please network, like connect with Tammi, find her on LinkedIn. And if you have startups who are looking for amazing product designers, or I guess product managers or any
Yeah.
engineer, any of those things in that area who are hiring, please reach out and let us know. And in the meantime, get on and support Tammi as she's looking for her next gig.
Yeah. Thank you so much, April. Thank you for having me on the show.
It was a pleasure to have you. And y'all, if you know somebody who's looking or you are looking yourself, slide into my DMs and schedule a time to come on. We'd love to give everyone a little glimpse behind the curtain into who you are and see if we can leverage our networks to help you find your dream job.
Thanks.
See ya.